Peace, peace. What's good, people? Poppy Tec Bouie, your host for this evening. Once again, I welcome y'all to the Necessary Hour, episode 4. And I also have my co-host, my guest, to J Power in the building. Let the people know what you about. I ain't gonna even give them a title. I want you to rightfully and respectfully let them know what it is.
Well, as he mentioned, I go by J Power. My name is Jamari Smith, and I am the owner of RiseNShine, pouring my knowledge, my wisdom, my experience, and the jewels that I've gained over, these 31 years of living, just into the younger generation, man, to help them maneuver around the pitfalls and the stumble.
People out there that, shouts out to all the viewers and all the subscribers, you know what I'm saying? Salute to y'all that's really about this movement, where we talk about real topics, you know what I'm saying, and be real authentic, genuine, just genuine conversation, even if it's debatable, if it's where we come to a point where we had to agree to disagree. But I don't even think it's in this instance, because this is a perfect example of two brothers like-minded and at the same time kind of like outcast of what is considered the norm now. And I'm sure everybody can attest to that we are living in some kind of what you would see of the Matrix, if you're familiar with the Matrix or what have you. With this brother, man, it was just one of those things I think people can relate to on an everyday basis. When you find that person that's one of those people who can't, like I said, even on the pilot, when the thing I always come back to, as far as like you get to that position where the things is going around, how life is, people's lifestyles, characteristics, and just the reality of everyday living. Once you see how really things are moving and operating, and the real versus the fantasy, and the good versus evil that's going on, and you get to the point you just can't unsee it. That's it. Ain't no turning back. You know what I mean? If you try to do that, I think eventually. But just us as a people, period. From all ages that can learn from each other. I think we both agree with always wanting to be students and always wanting to learn, be a sponge. You know what I'm saying? That's what we represent and what we about. It's a lot of people who don't even, they thinking like whatever grade they did in schools is done. You got some people who are just really ignorant, not ignorant you got some people who ignorant on purpose,
right?
But you also got people who are just ignorant, and they just not up on everything, because it could be their environment. It's just the layers of everything, their surroundings, family, friends, people who are around them, who are continuously in hindsight and not foresight, or in the standstill. There's a lot of that's going on. I'm sure you can agree with. You feel me?
Of course, bro.
So with this episode, I was thinking, I said, for a while we was trying to figure out where we wanted to take it, because we always have a build. You know what I'm saying? Wherever we vibe, we talk, in between the grinding and working, it's always something that we could take the heart, we take the mind, you know what I'm saying? We kind of feed off each other. And I'm sure this going on all around the world, and a lot of viewers can relate to this. But with this one, we was going to figure out we wanted to do something. It might end up being a part 2, part 3, and there's gonna be plenty of builds, I'm sure, with me and my brother. You know what I'm saying? Where we could be able to. I'll leave this even as an outlet for you, a platform for you. Whenever we get a chance, if it's stuff that you wanna, certain topics that you might wanna be unorthodox with before you wanna put it towards what you got going on.
Right.
Build, and I want this to be an outlet for you too, a place where you wanna vent. If you wanna touch the people, you know what I'm saying? I whenever we can work something out, this is this is your house too. My casa, mi casa, su casa.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
I think one thing with me is usually when I speak, and you can attest to this, usually when I speak, I'm speaking from the heart.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the topic of venting, a lot of the time when I'm speaking, that's what I'm doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Especially when it comes to the topic of our people, and who we and what we're doing this stuff for. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like venting is a big part of that, because it's like a love-hate relationship at times.
Right.
Where everything you doing is for your people, but because of the way our people are, it can be frustrating at times. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it becomes a love. I'm just using that for lack of a better term, love-hate. Just to express it. But Yeah, it's pretty much a vent with me.
But yeah, so with the pros and the cons, I think as a black people, one of the pros we're always gonna have that's been even standing the test of time, even when we were in our worst moments where we had to go through as far as to find our strengths, even like in the times of slavery.
Right.
I would say is just our uniqueness. You know what I'm saying? We always, even a lot of the talents and things that's graced upon us, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's whether it's music, art, a lot of that from us is God given. And I think it's something that other ethnicities look up to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that's one of the things that comes to mind as far as just, you know what I'm saying, being unique. What, baby?
And I'm gonna piggyback off that. A show of that is just look how quote unquote hip hop, black culture, the impression that it has on the entire world.
Yeah.
Where you can go to dang Thailand or Africa,
Right.
and some of the people in some of the worst living conditions adopt certain things from the music culture, which is black centered here from in America.
Yeah. And that's one of the things you can't, thing that's special about us, even as a people, even speaking from a man's standpoint, as black men,
Right.
you know, even with the weight that we have to have on our shoulders, physically, consciously, subconsciously, we still have that God-like will, that God will to still press on, and still, even when the matters is in our hands, and even in that split second, if we don't know what we're going to do with the next step, we still innovate, we still compromise, we still figure out a way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and I think that's the magical part. That's the magical part that other people can't relate to, and they admire. So I think it's a situation where you have people who admire us, where the admiration can come off as jealousy.
Right.
You know what I mean? You agree?
Envy. Right.
Envious. And I think that's like a certain, it could be a weird level of flattery that could even come to a point of being a violent level of flattery. But you want to keep it in preventive methods, I think is
my perspective matures also, you know. So
Yeah,
one thing that I say that is the ultimate pro, and I thought you was gonna take it there, is melanin.
yeah. Oh man, and I was going go
Yeah,
good in it, but I went off gear with it. But that's kind of goes into assembling with our just the beauty of us,
Yeah.
the beauty of us, even as men. You know what I'm saying? Even in the masculinity level or the femininity level with black women, and even children. That's the black children. Like black children is like, come on, man.
And see, the thing with melanin is it's so rare.
Yeah, yeah.
Like once you actually realize that you're the only people on the face of this earth who have this gene,
Right.
that's so powerful or magical, like you said, that it's actually considered the God gene. No wonder everybody else is envious.
Yeah.
You got that one thing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Very weird times where it's things that's unexplainable, or things that you might have heard people mention in the past that you thought was just superstition. You actually getting facts that this stuff is real, like aliens, for instance. Right. So, you know, we are living in weird times. But my point to that is, with this melanin piece, no matter what type of times we live in, if the creator doesn't bring about a condition like a massive flood or
Right.
some type of collision with the earth, and man, we're gonna be all right.
Yeah.
we're gonna be all right.
Yeah.
You just gotta use your brain. I think, not only, melanin being a pro, and this isn't exclusively for blacks, but I look at it as a pro for blacks because we've been the underdog for so long, and I'm saying this, being alive in this era, in this advanced technology, social media, high tech era, anybody can get rich.
Yeah.
This the easiest time to get rich has ever been on the face of this earth for our people.
That's fact.
Remember, there was times where before a few generations ago, before that, you couldn't even participate in the market.
Right.
You couldn't participate in economics.
Right.
But my point is, since we've been allowed to, and it's messed up, we shouldn't have to be allowed to, but I'm just saying, since we have been allowed to here in this country, this is the best time to be alive.
Man.
Because if you really know how to come up with a service or product, brand it properly, and market it using the channels that we have, the platforms that we have,
right?
Social media as a marketing platform, which is, side note, those were marketing platforms. They are marketing platforms, and that's what they was intended to be.
Right.
So all the shaking your tail on social media, showing your guns, and you tripping, homie. Yeah, it's a marketing platform. It's not about documenting your life. It's a marketing platform. So if you use the tools that you have at your leisure properly, man, anybody can get rich. Anybody.
And I think that's another way of where we can fall into the cons.
There you go. Go ahead, take it.
This that you just willed it on.
Right, bro.
The fact of how we use social media, as you seeing the tools that we got, just marketing. I think even looking at the educating aspect, educational aspect, as far as even with looking into branding and marketing ourselves, just to have a career at it, or yeah, you know what I'm saying, or what have you. It's okay. It's that balance. Now it's an imbalance when it comes to us. When it comes to something like that in social media, right. I think that's where it narrows down to really where we at in 2023. When you look at those things, everybody else is kind of things and traumatic. Just the rising of violence. How everything is so blatant. Even as being an agenda, to find ways for people to be demolished in a way where it's, you know what I'm saying, it's not seen criminal. They're trying to find different ways. I can't think of the name, but what's the word? You know what I'm thinking of? No. As far as like another way of
assassinating?
Yeah, but it's another word. I can't think of it. It's gonna come to me. But that's what we're dealing with. Whereas whatever we're getting, we're being approached with on a negative basis, we use these avenues as a way, as a getaway, or you know what I'm saying, a numbness, like a drug. Right. It's really like a drug. Whereas we're over prescribing ourselves with it, you know what I'm saying? Okay. And indulging in a way where we're not using it for our best benefit as black people. If you look at other regions and you look at other nationalities, I mean, you got certain people that do their thing, but it's a certain kind of balance. Right. Even as in tradition. So for us to even become, with technology being what it is, where we're at.
And it's like a testament that some people are so like displeased with who they are in real life, right, to where social media actually becomes a drug because they can throw a filter on and be somebody else.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a filter. Filters is a good example, perfect example of social media. The filters. I think the filters. You just see people, even with women, their vanity. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you really get to see it. Even black women. That's what I'm saying. And black women have, to me, the most natural beauty. You know what I'm saying? And it used to be where you had your different categories where because we are, I feel like as black people, we are the true kaleidoscope. We're in our shades, it's like and that's dope. I ain't think about that. Like, we got our own kaleidoscope. Like, a kaleidoscope you think is a colorful, but we're colorful in our shades.
Yeah.
So I feel like where the beauty aspect has went, and they tried to make it as one thing, and so you used to have your, and the women, I think all the diversity of black women is still there, but it's a lost right now. It's like a lost cause.
Right.
Because a lot of the sisters now coming up compared to what I grew up seeing, which is not long ago as far as, age, but just where you had your classy women platform as far as the getaway, where they look at, oh, I should be like this, like I have to have this filter, or even just how they act, their characteristics. Like, I understand we had our fast, we had Foxy Brown, Little Kim, different people, all your nasty, everything had your different levels of nasty.
Right.
But it's just like now it's where it's becoming redundant to a point where I think a lot of the women, even adult women, are lost, bro. So they could be a classy woman or be in this other category, but they feel like the pressures of attention or that image,
right.
The imagery. You know what I'm saying?
Because I meet women, different type of women, man. But for instance, one of the latest women I met, I'm not gonna say her name or put her information out, but
right.
She was a general manager at a franchise.
Okay.
Here in South Carolina, and I say before that, I've met a woman who's, work at a warehouse, at a plant, and even though they come from different environments, work in different environments, and not, just suppressing or like downplaying them to just their work. My
right.
point was, even in their personal life, they were women of two different type of mentalities.
Right.
But a lot about how they carried themselves was the same.
Yeah.
I gotta have the frontal. I gotta have the lashes.
I gotta uphold this image, or what if this man? But then on the other side of that coin, you take this approach, and the reaction that you get from men is not what you were wanting. But you find yourself, you know what I'm saying? Right. You're not being this kind of woman, and then a lot of times, and it's also bringing confusion where they're not realizing the reality of what brothers are really wanting. You know what I mean? Aside from a brother who knows themselves, a man who knows himself, right. Compared to, you know what I'm saying? Because you got your brothers out there who are just as much of a lost cause too. So they're right. Kind of just like,
we wasn't gonna let them get out the hook. I was going.
Yeah. That's
tough guys.
They like chickens with their heads cut off, and right. We really see it. We see it on a daily basis, man. At our gig, you know what I mean? You still, I know with me, I try to find ways where you can embrace brothers, but some of them is just, what up, bro? Some of them is just, man. I told you, it's gonna be keep it real, and it's always gonna have to come back around to it. It's gonna be a destroy and rebuild. Some of y'all gotta expire. Some of y'all, sadly but surely, that's the reality. People gotta understand. When they hear that, they're like, how can you say become just to be a sponge? That's why we had to understand, even with the internet, the prime thing, the internet, all these resources that we have, all the things you can learn and obtain, but really look at what you find yourself just looking at, choosing to go look at, but you get all this other information. But what is triggering you to continue to go to the same thing and just watch what's going on around you instead of trying to figure what's going on in your world? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think that's something that is going on harshly as far as us as a people, especially with the men. Like, I think just with the generation period, 2023, sometimes I find myself, man, the stuff I see on a daily basis, man, certain news or certain situations or certain things people are just doing because some people just don't need a phone. You know what I'm saying?
Just they cut their whole contract. It's over with.
I feel blessed. My whole thing is we the type of brothers that even whatever we trying to do, we look at the smallest things as just even to be another day in the land of the living. You know what I'm saying? You got those small things as the big picture. But I just look at situations, man. Sometimes I be like, man,
we want our people to be conscious of who they are.
Right.
Conscious of what's going on around you, so that way you can be doing what you need to do to survive, bro.
Yeah.
To survive.
That's survival.
I think, I it's empathy in my heart for our people, and that's why I do what I do, especially with the younger generations. Older ones kind of get on my nerves a little bit, but the young ones, bro, it's empathy in my heart, because I know that all this stuff is conditioning. Yeah. Generation after generation of conditioning. And when I look at just let's just say just a good 70 years ago, 80 years ago, that's time. Like, it's people living who's 70. Yeah. There's people right around here who 80. Yeah. So it ain't like I'm talking about Egyptian Dynasty 25 or something like that. We ain't talking about that far back. We talking about something feasible that you can actually look back at. Yeah. And you look at the times and the things we went through. Like, we went through some harsh, realities. Yeah. And at the extent that it's been forgotten. And they trying to have us, of course, trying to make it unreal. Exactly. They're trying to erase a lot. What it does is you don't see the viciousness of your said enemy. Right. You don't see the viciousness of them. So what you never consider that it can possibly happen. Right. Because you don't see it. You know what I'm saying? Right. So like, you think about it, if that dog around that corner I never seen him get aggressive, he's never bit me, I don't even think about it's a possibility that he can bite me. And we get caught up in this world, bro, with this illusion of a matrix on a mass level where, math, the simple math. I'm talking about, but financial literacy, like, to get yourself in gear for your family. To sit down with a notebook and say, listen, these are the bills we have for this month. This is called living expenses. This all the money we have for this month. This is called income. Right. Once we take this money and pay for these living expenses, what we have left, we must save. Over a period of time, whether it's 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, we'll have enough money to make an investment. Like, the basics, bro. Yeah. That's a simple conversation, bro, and illustration, the basics. And you have people who go through their whole entire life never having that conversation, let alone their younger years. And then when they become an adult, you kick right into the world. After high school is over with, you kicked into the world. Life, bro, I watched so many of my peers from high school, bro. I come back out here after my, doing 10 years in prison. Mm-hmm. Come back out here, bro, and I'm just peeping the scene. Struggling, bro. Kid, you know how many people, and I ain't calling nobody out, but you know how many people hit my cash app, bro? Let me borrow $20. Let me borrow. And I'm like, these people I haven't seen since before I went to prison. So you ain't seen me since I've been 16. Exactly. But it's because of what you see. Like, you see the company, you in your mind, oh, he got it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then when I tap in, it's like they struggling. And it's like, dang, how all these people struggling? Alcoholics, and they just dealing with life. They fighting back, and they don't realize it. Like, the rat race is really kicking your butt. Yeah, they don't realize it though. But a person like me who grew up in confined, whole another vision when you come out, right, back into the world, especially for long stints of time, bro. Yeah, and I think that's always been the illest thing. I think that's another way of when brothers come out, and sisters too, just through whatever transgressions such as that, you know what I'm saying, they grow and evolve and find themselves and really see the world from another angle. And as you touch down on how the world is today, your lenses is different. That's a whole nother way of unseeing what you've seen. You know what I'm saying? You see, it could be family, it could be friends, and it's just a whole reset. And I think that's something that people can't run away from. You don't want to have it to be where you get yourself caught up in the situation. I think that's where we can kick in, I guess, for the children aspect, the black children, right? As a people, I think that's probably like top priority. I mean, of course, just like you said, even like you do with your program,
even when you talk to the youth, and some of the events you went to where the wires was at. But once you cut that switch off, it just showed how everything connect.
How it worked, yeah.
Yeah, and when I'm looking at it before he even telling me, he said he had this thing in his house for like 4 years. And God just talked to him. He was like, man, this is going to be my message. And he said he was going, first he wanted to display it to his kids. He said he was going to do it and let them know like at the sermon. But this was like the first thing, the way it came to him. And I was like, bro, I said, that's connecting the dots. I said, that's so crazy, because me and Jay we were just talking on that. Like every time we speak on even what he has going on, the people he's being able to come across, you know what I'm saying, and these doors that's opening, you know what I'm saying, that God is opening, man, and just the moves he's making, and the networking, man. It's like you gotta connect the dots, bro. You gotta have some kind of connection. You can't do it all by yourself. And when you get those like-minded individuals who can help you and bring some kind of embrace in the form of a position to help with those connections, man, anything's possible with it. And it's going to be solidified as long as you got that, you know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of brothers not even, that's what it is. The one of the top cons, I think the top 5 cons is disconnect. Even and disconnect can go so many ways.
Right.
Disconnect.
There's different levels of it.
Yeah, it's disconnect. Black women's disconnect. Right. Then you got the elders and the youth disconnect. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's like one of our top cons is the disconnection, where one
self got caught in situations where you had to go. You know?
Right.
But the real flex is, and I'm going to use that word disconnect because that's what prison do. It disconnect you from all the distractions.
Ain't that something?
When it came to friends and my peers, I left at high school. When it came to peers, all that high school popularity stuff, out the window a month into it. A month into it, out the window. You know what I'm saying? When it came to the want or the need or desire to think that, you know, to hang out, all those things that I thought that I was into, that I thought mattered to me, it didn't matter no more once I got locked up. It didn't matter because I realized that it didn't hold value in my life, or it didn't value me. My friends, they couldn't have been my friends, you know, if I can leave your presence for 8.5 years and you not, well, I don't know what you're thinking, but you not one time put forth no effort towards me or my memory.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So the same thing with family members. I love my family, and a good bit of my family was there, but it changed your perception on the things that you think that matter, the things that you feel like you need to have. And then when you realize all this stuff don't matter, social media really don't matter, hustle and bustle, even with the 9-to-5 jobs and running the rat race, use none of that. But in the rat race, oh, I gotta go to work, gotta work overtime, I'm trying to get this, plus I gotta get school supplies, I need to get shoes, I need to just running. But you ain't, it's really to no avail though, because all you're doing is running back to a job to work for these people who just gonna give you enough to bring you right back next pay period.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And you're not looking at it.
Right. You ain't taking the time for you.
Right.
Prison forced me to sit still, bro, for all those years.
That's crazy.
And I was just blessed with the mindset to be curious. So while I'm sitting still, I'm like, let me see what this book about.
Right.
I'm lit. Now I know political science. Let me see what this book about. I'm lit. Now I got the basis of financial literacy.
See?
Let me see what this book about. I'm lit. Now I got history. And I come from gang culture, you feel me? So I'm in the penitentiary straight from the G-Shine family bloods.
And it's another thing that comes natural. You know what I'm saying? As a black man, whether from youth up, and even in the black woman from youth up. You know what I'm saying? And I think we're at a point now in 2023 where we're not knowing to take advantage,
right,
or even wanting to seek, even if you don't know how to seek.
Right.
What's the saying? A closed mouth don't get fed. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of closed mouths just going along and running with what's going on, and it's being a huge detriment to us as black people. And I think one of the main things that I would think is even a con is how I think, well, people, some of us are not gonna like the truth, but I'm sure my brother would agree. We are our worst enemy right now. In 2023, we are our worst enemy.
It's been that way for some time.
Yeah, it has.
I tell people all the time, man, the solution to a lot of black people problems, even within this dying system that these people created for us to keep us in what they call our place.
Right.
The solution to our problems is true knowledge of who you are.
Yeah.
True knowledge of who you are. I'm not talking about your name. I'm not talking about the family, the family you come from. I'm talking about a history of who you are on this side of me can change that.
Right.
Nothing. Not nobody say.
Right.
Not because I'm not the freshest dressed when I walk in the building.
Right.
I really embody the idea of I wear the clothes.
On a whole nother level.
I wear the clothes. I don't care nothing about what name on it, bro. It's a $5 t-shirt, bro. But I got $1,000 in my pocket.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a $5 t-shirt.
But imagine, okay, and that's a perfect example. The way when we get ourselves in our best embodiment is no different than when you look at, say, you go into the mall, and if you really took a look at who you really think is the CEO of this mall, he'll walk in there, regular plain clothes, glasses, older guy,
right.
whatever what may have you. He don't have the brand flashing. It's like you got to look at
You'll walk right past him.
Yeah,
you'll walk right past him.
Doctors the same way. Athletes, like, come on. One of the greatest of all time, I say in my opinion, MJ. You see how MJ dressed as a billionaire?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all about what you value, what you put in, an embodiment of yourself. I think once you find your true self and your attributes and everything that you put on this earth for, that God put you on this earth for, even as a human, just a human period, man or woman, but even primarily what we speaking of, which is the golden black, a golden black. You know what I'm saying? That's what we on. We on a golden black. So, you see how can it attracts people. You know what I'm saying? That's what I get many times. You know, people come around and they'll be like, because you got your characters. I think everybody can see, even if you have people that have a group, it could be a group of men or a group of girls, group of women. You see it all the way from school to the real world. You see, you got your loudmouth, you got your one who kind of observes, more kind of ahead of things, like, well, what about this? And then you got the other one that's just off the handle. The other one might not be too bright. That's just life. You know what I'm saying?
You got the jokesters.
Right. And so I think it's just to a point now where when you find your true self and people notice that, you automatically stand out. I have people come in and they be like, why you don't talk so much, or why you not always? That's just, I mean,
it's a confidence that come with it, bro.
Right.
It's a confidence. I can say that, bro. Like,
yeah.
Once and a lot of my role models, it was people I was reading about, bro.
Yeah.
I still look up to the George Jacksons, and for those of you who don't know who George Jackson is,
look up.
He was the field marshal of the Black Panther Party. He died back in the 70s in San Quentin prison in California. But do some research on them brothers. But anyway, this was my role model. I was in prison when I learned about these dudes. Modern day slavery. So,
yeah,
know, even in that, bro, just to have the character to stand up straight. Bro, these people strip you naked and do all type of stuff to you, bro. They really try to degrade you there. But I'm just saying, even in a cesspool, something like prison, to still be able to stand up straight and hold your head high, all due to the confidence of you knowing who you are. I'm telling you, that's what knowledge of self do for you, bro.
And that's what I think. That's what we missing, man. And I think we just
you know who you are, man.
That's where it's gonna have to talk. It's gonna have to go from the ground up, man, of yourself, and get to the root of it and learn. Make some space for you to learn, man. Because right now, I'm thinking we seeing more cons than pros. Right. We got to get it together, man. Because you look at these other ethnicities, these other backgrounds, man. They regardless if they don't like each other, they know how to get in line. They get in alignment. They got their priorities in order. This is what comes first. A lot of stuff going on around the world we ain't paying attention to, that we need to take heed to, because we always so focused on entertainment or what's going on. But you got to know how to even just make time for yourself to really just enjoy the fresh air, enjoy being able to wake up, open your eyes, and still
grateful,
be able to have your limbs and really, really operate, you know what I'm saying, as a black individual, not just a regular individual, you know what I'm saying?
A quick reference, man, a book, and it's by Dr. Naeem Akbar.
Okay.
A quick read. I don't think it's more than 50 pages, if that. You know, you trying to prowl and you hunting like a cat. You walking like a cat. The whole time you a dog. Now, not equating nobody to animals, but using it as an analogy to say, like, look at from which we came, and then look at us now.
Look at us now, right?
You out here acting, thinking, and moving like other than that you are.
Right.
That's an issue.
And
I understand that everybody on this thing about individualism, I want to do this because, you know, it lead all into the homosexual era too, you know, but not speaking on that because I want to respect your platform.
Right, but we that's a whole nother, I think the thing in that, not to cut your wisdom off, is the threat to us, not to knock on that level, but when we speak on that, we look at it ahead of time in tunnel vision. And one of the things that's the primitive thing is procreation.
Right.
So if you got to look at the ways, that's going to be a whole nother dialogue.
That right there serves no purpose to real life. It's just people and their own fetishes and desires.
Right.
But you think about, I think I look at, and I trip by how America is like, it's a Christian country.
Yeah.
True indeed, I'm gonna say this: it's a diverse country. You got plenty of religions over here.
Right.
But I'm just saying, in God we trust, but it's like everything about the culture here is opposite than what you like. We got going on. Like
I'm sure we got more of the pros and cons we gonna bring to them.
Yeah, we definitely can go in all night. Like these bills, I love them, man. I love them because more than anything, it ain't nothing personal, bro. It's like this. If you a viewer and you don't like something, bro, you always can tune out.
Exactly.
The idea is just sharing perspective, bro.
Necessary.
Sharing perspective. So you can see it from a different perspective, bro. Your truth might not be the truth.
Right.
But when brothers can come together in a safe environment and humbly and respectfully share their educated opinions on things,
right,
I don't think there's no problem with that.
Yeah,
you learn something. You eat it like fish. You take what you can take away for it and do away with the rest.
Always stay a sponge. I think it's necessary, and these kind of talks are necessary. So it's always lovely when I see it. I see it on other platforms. Salute to the ones who do that. A lot of the shows, shouts out to I know Black Love's men's round table, where they talk to different topics like that. All of the salute to everybody who's on there, all the content creators who are about that, and that's what we represent. And we just got to get it more balanced, man. We got to get more of the pros going in our best interest compared to these cons that's going on, man. Because the devil gonna stay busy, man, but God is gonna be busier. And y'all just gonna want to be on that right side of your.
All human trying to get it right. Nothing special other than I'm listening to the voice and following the voice that's in my head that's guiding me, that I know is the voice of the source. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But other than that, I'm still me. I'm gonna still rock the Chicago Bulls because y'all know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm still gonna be me.
See,
you know?
And that's where it's at.
Standing for a different cause, standing for a different purpose, and living my life building something that's for the best interest of mankind.
Right.
Well, I know God ain't mad at that.
At all. That's the mission. That's
Rise
part of the
and
mission.
shine, baby.
That's what it said.
Salute to Rise and Shine.
And this is where it's about. It's about that necessary time, that necessary talk, the necessary build. That's what we representing. Right. You know what I'm saying? J Power, let them know how they could reach you, man. Like,
well, with me, man, you know, I'm most notably on social media, Facebook, J Power, the homie, Instagram, j.power0.31. Either which one of them, man. TikTok, same thing. Y'all just reach out to me, you know, whether you supporting the brand, want to, you know, send some words of encouragement, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we can collaborate. You know, I'm all for the youth. So, you know, if you got some young people in your town, want to kind of orchestrate a bill or a workshop that we can pull together, shoot a holler at us, man. We all open for it. You know what I'm saying? On the nonprofit side, we really grassrooting this thing, you know, starting from the core, you know, trying to be more hands-on, more intimate in the sense of having that personal relationship and that personal build with our young people, man, because I think not only does it take somebody who been where they at or what they're going through to connect with them, but it takes somebody who they can relate to, who's speaking their language, who still found success, bro.
Right.
Because I blocked that noise out and I listen to the Lord, I know that's guiding me towards, you know, doing the right thing. So when I see brothers like yourself on the same mission and you start from grassroots, anything I can do to help, bro.
Likewise,
Just
bro.
name it. Anything I can do to help.
You know how we do. You know what I'm saying? This is nothing but the beginning, y'all. So we appreciate y'all, all the viewers. You know what I'm saying? Like the video. Let's get these subscribers up on the YouTube. Even on the Instagram. You know what I'm saying? On the Necessary Gram, at the Necessary Gram for the Necessary Hour Show. But also on Our Wind TV. That's OURWIND TV on YouTube. That's how you get to the Necessary Hour Show, and we're gonna have plenty of hashtags. And once again, I salute my brother.
Yeah, man.
Much love.
Tag me in it too, man, so I can share it, man, with the people, man.
I got you. I'm tagging my brother in, J Power. Y'all remember this name.